Hello there, and welcome back to the Chaps Guide, the channel where we explore the topics of men's style, self-development and personal grooming. And it is well into December now, and even here at the Chaps Guide at our wilderness lodge out in the woods, we're starting to get ready for the festive season. And it's also been a time for me to think back on this remarkable year that we've just survived, 2020, to think about some of the products which I've encountered and some of the things which have made my life that little bit more bearable under these rather extreme circumstances we've all been living under. So I think I'll take this opportunity to get a bit warmer, get a fire going, sit down, and I will show you the things that have made my life a bit better on the grooming front this year, and I'll tell you why, and perhaps share with you some of my thoughts, and we'll keep warm and we'll have a chat. So let's get to it. Well folks, it's a little bit warmer now. Now we've got the fire going, which does take the edge off a bit, because even in, quite a mild December, it's a little chilly. So what are we going to start with? Well, I'm going to talk about the products which I've encountered this year, and this year specifically, that have made my life a little bit more enjoyable, a bit more bearable, and all the rigours that us chaps have to do, like shaving and keeping fresh and looking good. These are the things which have come across my path. The first thing I want to talk about is something which all of us chaps, I guess, have to do, and that's have a shave from time to time, or all the time if you're in my case. And there's one product which stands head and shoulders among the others, which has come out during 2020, incredibly modestly priced and a great little performer, and that is the Gillette, or the Camp C Gillette double-edged razor. Now this little fella, I think, has remarkable build quality. It's got a great stainless steel construction, lovely three-piece non-adjustable razor, takes pretty much any double-edged razor, easy to operate, unscrews, slip your razor blade in. It gives a lovely medium mild shave, which is great if you want to get into wet shaving using a double-edged razor, and the price point is well under £20, which I think for what you get is extremely good value for money. Now, I know a lot of folks take issue with Gillette because obviously they're behind this massive push for cartridge shavers, which is a bit of a money-making scam for them in many respects, but a double-edged razor at this price, at this quality, is hard to ignore, and it's what I've been using for the majority of 2020 to keep myself looking rakishly sharp and well-shaved. Worth a try. Now, staying on the theme of shaving, let's talk about shaving cream. So I'm moving along rather briskly because we've got about 10 items to talk about today. And on the shaving cream front, there's one for me which really stands out, and that's George Trumper's Euchris. I found this halfway through the year. I saw a review or read about it somewhere. I invested in the shave cream first, then I bought some of the cologne, in fact the Eau de Parfum, which I did a video on. I'll leave the video for my review in the description box below. And I have to say, this was a bit of a revelation for me. It's got something unique. It's got an old-fashioned, traditional heritage fragrance, but with a bit of an edge. And I think in my review of the cologne, the way I've described it is it has a bit of the night about it. Take that for however you'd like to receive it, but it's unique, special, slightly dark and sinister fragrance, but with an element of traditional barbershop. For me, it's been my standout fragrance of the year. Absolutely love it. Shaved with it this morning, and yeah, it's one of my favourites for 2020. And it's only 20 quid as well, so modestly priced, very good quality stuff. And forget the fragrance, it performs fantastically as a shave cream. So it ticks all the boxes for me. So let's again stay with the shaving theme. You've now had your shave with that razor. What do you use next? And something which I'd never previously used, which I've now come to absolutely swear by, and that's witch hazel. So I now apply witch hazel immediately after I've shaved. after I've cleaned the shave cream off my face, any residual cream after my shave, I now use witch hazel, and this is Humphrey's Citrus Witch Hazel. It's also a face toner, great stuff, modestly priced, again, sub £20. This bottle I've been using for about 6 months, and only a small, probably a third of it is missing, and I shave every day, so you get quite a lot back for the amount that you use in the quality of what you get. And it's an astringent, it's an anti-inflammatory, it protects you from infection, it's just the perfect thing to apply. It isn't alcohol based, so there's no stinging or discomfort, and as I say, it's a skin toner, so you can apply it all over the face. Just keeps you in good shape, looking good, and that's what us chaps of a certain age want. And any ally in that battle is one which I'm happy to invite into my corner, and Humphrey's Witch Hazel, or in fact any witch hazel, will do the same job. Definitely on my side, and using it now every day. So, we've applied the witch hazel. What's next? Now we've got to soothe the skin. And for me, the soothing of the skin involves a balm. Now, it's a bit of a cheat here because I've used Nivea aftershave balm for a couple of years now, but I still love it. And this year, I moved from the normal Nivea one to the sensitive one, which I find a little bit sensitive. So technically, it is a new product for me this year. Incredibly modestly priced. I normally find this in the region of £2.50 in sort of department drugstores, discount ones, and does a fantastic job. Lightly scented as well, so you need not apply anything else if you don't want to. But after my witch hazel, I apply Nivea Balm to soothe the skin, my post-shave skin. Works a treat, doesn't argue with the skin, lightly scented, incredibly cheap, excellent bang for the buck. Highly recommended. So let's stay on that topic of skincare and looking after, the old visage. And for me, well, I've come to a certain age where I realise now that moisturising the skin is not something just for the dandies in life. It's for us chaps who don't want to look prematurely old. So I've started moisturising twice a day, in the morning and in the evening after I've had a shower. And the product I've been using this year, brand new for me this year, I know it's been around a long time, but I got this on the recommendation of a friend, John, thanks for that. And it is L'Oreal Man Expert HydraEnergetic. And it's the anti-fatigue daily moisturiser, and it's got 5 actions, and it does all sorts of technical, sciencey things for the skin. But I find this absorbs readily, doesn't leave any greasy residue on the skin, and it makes my skin feel plumper and more moisturised immediately after I've used it, particularly focusing on those crow's feet wrinkles around the eyes. And this is a treat for me. And again, modestly priced. I mean, this can be found in discount drugstores here in the UK, around about £5. One of these tubs lasts me about 3 months, so it's not an expensive regime when taken over the year. I think it's great value for money and a great product for the price. Again, very, very easily affordable by anybody. Worth giving it a try if you don't want to look old before your time. Now, all part of that moisturising game and looking after the skin is also to clear away those dead cells that you don't need, don't want, hanging around on the face. And for me, a good facial scrub is something which I deeply appreciate. I did a video actually on facial scrubs earlier this year where I compared a number of different ones, from the very expensive to the modestly priced. And one which I didn't include, which I have absolutely grown to love, is this St. Ives Blemish Control Apricot Scrub. Again, discount prices in the UK. You can buy 4 of these for, I think, £8 I bought them off Amazon. I'm sure if you're watching this from anywhere other than the United Kingdom, you should be able to source this as well using, your internet retail outlets. I'm not going to say Amazon, but that's the one that I use. Modestly priced apricot pits, which are broken down, which are the abrasive quality to this. Absolutely, for the price, the best facial scrub I have ever used. This compares, if not exceeds, the quality of Clinique and some of these other facial scrubs, which cost 4 or 5 times the amount of money that this does. This is one of my best finds of the year. I love it. Highly recommend it for looking after the old jib. So give it a go. Now, we've looked after our skin, we've shaved, we've primped and we've pruned, and we now want to smell good. So for me, I mean, you know, if you've watched this channel for a while, you know I'm a big fragrance fan. I review loads of fragrances here, and 2 of the fragrances actually I reviewed this year have actually made my top 10 list of grooming products for the year. I had to choose 2 because I think it's too simplistic to use one fragrance for the whole year. You need to be quite upfront and say some fragrances work better in the warm, some fragrances better now in the winter time. So let's talk about the summer, the warmer fragrance for sure. And for me, one which I reviewed earlier this year, and that is Dunhill Edition. Classic old men's fragrance house, which has been producing fragrances here in the UK for many, many years. Dunhill Edition, a 1980s fragrance, which is a lovely citrusy, slightly woody fragrance, which absolutely performs out of its skin and is incredibly modestly priced, achievable for, you know, between 20 and 30 pounds for 100 millilitres, readily available, still being produced today. And it just, for me, embodies the essence of how I want to smell in the summertime. Fresh, zesty, citrusy, but with a hint of masculinity as well. So Dunhill Edition, an old classic, but still performing exceptionally well. So we've talked about the summer, now we're in the winter time here in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern, I'm sorry, you've got a little bit of time to wait before you can use this one. But in the winter time, you need a fragrance which can project a bit more. You need a bit of a beast, because these dark and dank and often wet times of the year need something that can push itself out there a bit more. Those zesty, light summer fragrances really just don't have the performance for this time of year. And there's one fragrance which is my outstanding fragrance of the year, and if I had to pick one which has worked for me above all others in 2020, and that's Coram Silver. Now, Coram Silver is a flanker fragrance of its much more popular big brother fragrance of Coram, the original, the classic, which is a powerhouse beast fragrance from the 1980s. And this flanker brought out a number of years later, but this one, and it's apt that I'm in the woods today, is an incredibly woody fragrance. It's absolutely zesty and woody, and it has winter mustiness, strength and character wrapped up with that wood fragrance, and it is an absolute blinder. It came out of the blue for me. I mean, I bought it blind. I thought I'd give it a try just because it was so cheap. £11 for 100 millilitres for a quality fragrance. You can't go wrong. I mean, buy this stuff. If you don't like it, give it to somebody else. They'll appreciate the gesture. But for £11, this performs out of its skin. It's a fragrance by the house of Antonio Puig, who makes a number of real blinders at incredibly modest prices. But for me, this is the best of the year for me, and it's one that I'm wearing today, and I'll be wearing much more in the years ahead. So have a look at that one. We've talked about looking sharp, staying good, smelling well. Don't forget the hands as well, because I am a big fan of using quality hand soap. I like to have a nice soap in the bathroom because the mixing of fragrances is something which I enjoy, gives me lighter mood, and makes me feel clean and zesty. And there's one hand soap which I've used year in, year out, but the one which I've chosen for this year it's by Taylor of Bond Street, that fantastic shaving house in London, in Jermyn Street, and they make a hand soap in a number of different fragrances. It's one of their very traditional products, and I dare say it's a pure vegetable soap I see on the label. But the one which I have here is their lemon fragrance. And this is so traditional. It, for me, smells like the washrooms of high-quality gentlemen's clubs in London, where you smell that high-quality fragrance of the soap that they use. And it's hard to describe, but it's a spectacular lemony fragrance, subtle, but clean and fresh. And I've been using this all of 2020. It's an absolute blinder. Modestly priced. Again, obviously it's a hand soap, it can't be that expensive. If you buy it in multiples, it gets cheaper. It's you know, a few pounds, but worth looking into because it lasts a good time. It imparts its fragrance through the entirety of its lifetime when it's on the sink or wherever you're going to use it, and it is a classic man's hand soap which any good chap should be grateful to have in their bathroom. Now, there comes a time in every man's life that you have to accept that the hair on your body doesn't grow where you want it to and when you want it to. Now, for me, the old hair on the top of the head went south when I was probably about 40 years of age, 10 years ago. And that hair left the top of my head and started appearing in other places in my body. Most specifically, up the nose and in the ears. And for a long time, I kind of approached it with a mentality of denial. But just recently, I have accepted that a nose and other intimate hair trimmer is something which I wanted to introduce into my grooming regime. And I ended up buying the Panasonic washable intimate trimmer, which is great for the ears, the nose. It just works a treat when it comes to keeping yourself looking sharp, because nobody wants errant hairs hanging out of the schnozzer when you're at an important meeting or meeting new friends and associates for the first time. It doesn't give a good impression. These things are very modestly priced. Anything between 10 and 20 pounds would buy you something which is battery operated. You can take it in the shower with you. You can, you know, just trim your nose and your ears when you need to, the eyebrows as well. And they just perform a great job for you when you need that act undertaken. And yeah, it's so much better than trying to pluck the hairs out of your nose with a tweezer or trying to trim the hairs in your ears with a toenail clipper. So these are just well worth the investment. Don't live in denial, guys. Get yourself an intimate trimmer and look sharper as a result. I did. I feel all the better for it. I recommend it to you. Well, there we go, folks. Those were my top 10 grooming tips and products that have worked for me in the year 2020. Let's be honest, it's not been the best of years, but actually I've been on quite a journey of discovery, learning about these new products, finding some great new things which perform out of their skin for the amount of money which they cost. I'm going to leave links for all of these products, or the ones which I can find now, in the description box below. Avail yourself of those if you want to try them out. They're all very modestly priced and they've performed fantastically for me in 2020. Why not give them a try yourself, or give them as gifts in the festive season? Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video and it'll help you stay sharp, looking good, smelling great in 2021. If you have, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Until then, take care.